Hi, this is Stacia, and I'm back with another game played by none other but the great Bobby Fischer. So this is the third game I'm covering, and in this one he played somebody named Fine, and I forget the guy's first name, but I'll read you real quick what it says in the book. Bobby Fischer, My 60 Memorable Games. Highly recommend this book. Says having become one of the leading players in the world, Fine quit chess at the height of his career in 1945 to become a practicing psychoanalyst, but he has lost none of his love for the game and little of his brilliance. The following is one of 7 or 8 offhand games played at his home in New York. As far as can be ascertained, Dr. Fine very nearly held his own. Here, departing for the first time from his beloved Roy Lopez, Fischer employs the daring gambit introduced by Captain Evans a century ago. This ploy has all but disappeared from the arena. Well, that's not totally true anymore. Fine, although the author of several opening manuals, is understandably rusty and he gets caught in a vice from which he never escapes. Fischer uncorks a sparkling finish in 17 moves. Okay, so let's have a look at this game. This is definitely a highlight. It's definitely, even though it's a Skittles game, this is one that Fischer included in his book. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and so yeah, they comment in the book that this was the normal move for Bobby Fischer, was the Roy Lopez, but instead he went bishop c4, and after bishop c5, b4. So Evans' Gambit. Now, I will say that this Gambit is still very respected. I don't see it like at the top level, but like the very top level, but I think it does make an appearance once in a while, even with very strong grandmasters. Okay, so Fine accepted the Gambit. And the whole point of this is to distract the bishop and win some time and build a big center with c3 and d4. So Fischer played c3. Bishop a5 is the normal move. And now d4, continuing with the plan to build a big center. Now black usually does take this pawn. And then Fischer played castles. So this looks funny if you've never seen it before, because it's like, you know, in chess, a lot of times when someone takes, you recapture. But in Evans' Gambit, we're prioritizing development. So getting the king safe and getting the rook ready to come out is more important than recapturing. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to play against this. Let's see what Fine does. Yeah, and so I think if you play Evans' Gambit, this is a game that you must know, because I mean, I know that when I started playing it, I was like, what if black takes this? You know, and so Dr. Fine decides that he's going to go all in. This is basically a cocky move, if you ask me. It's kind of a cocky move because Dr. Fine's basically saying, I don't care who you are. I know you're Bobby Fischer, but you're offering me pawns. I'm going to take them and defend like a champion and win, you know? So that's what he's saying. Now, if I was analyzing this game between two kids and the kid took here, I'd be like, oh, you know, like, develop your pieces. What are you doing? But this isn't two kids. This is Dr. Fine, who's a very strong player. Okay, so Queen b3 by Bobby Fischer. So the initiative begins. We're threatening to take, and he plays Queen e7. Fischer noted that Queen f6 is more usual here, so we'll look at that real quick. He said Queen f6, e5 would attack the queen, Queen g6, Knight takes c3, knight g to e7, and he thought this or bishop e3. He said this might still be playable for black. So let's check with the engine and see if he was right. Wow, yeah, it says equal. But that's the power of Evans Gambit though, because if you do a pawn count right here, black has 7 pawns and white only has 5. So from a purely material standpoint, white should be -2, but the computer says equal. So that means that white has enough compensation. And if the computer says that, then between like players that aren't grandmasters, that means white has a lot of play, basically. All right, so let's go back. So queen b3 and queen e7. Okay, and this is kind of awkward placement of the queen also, because at some point we would like to put the rook here, and that will be uncomfortable. Yeah, and this move was interesting. So Fischer took here. I'm not sure if I would have played this move. I would have strongly considered bishop a3. And we'll see what the engine says. Yeah, it likes Fischer's move. After bishop a3. Oh, I didn't even consider this. Yeah, pieces are coming off. And now we take here, but there's less pieces in the game. And when you're attacking and you have an initiative, the more pieces, the better. So my move bishop a3 actually results in more trades. But this move is cool. I have trouble with the arrows in the study settings on Lichess. Sorry about that. Okay, so this move, we're basically, I mean, we don't really care about recapturing material. I don't think that's what this move is about. This move is about bringing yet another piece into the game. And this rook is one step closer to being in the game also. If black wanted to take the knight, then unfortunately for black, one of their most active pieces would be traded off for a piece that was previously on the b1 square. So Fischer is again playing in Morphy style, in my opinion, because he's playing to keep the initiative and develop pieces. Okay, so knight f6. All right, this is a risky move in Evans Gambit, but basically if black can successfully play knight f6 and castles, maybe something like d6, then black is just going to have a material advantage. So white has to stop this plan at all costs, and black has to make extra sure that they can play a move like knight f6, because white usually has all kinds of things they can do. Well, knight f6 was played, and if you'd like to pause your video, my question to you is, can black get away with this move? Yes or no? And why or why not? Go ahead and pause your video. See if you can figure it out. Okay, so here knight f6 is basically the losing move, which is crazy to think, but after this, white's initiative is too strong. I think instead, let's see what the engine wants. Wants to take here, and after takes, then knight f6. Although it still says +1. Huh. So, and again, like I was saying, this is not a desirable move, so this would be a huge concession. If you have to play that way right now, then already there's just too much pressure. which kind of shows why maybe you shouldn't take that pawn like black did. But okay, it's a little too greedy, you know. But knight f6 immediately is, well, I'll tell you this. Bobby Fischer played a move I didn't consider. I considered e5, I think, here, which is good. But Fischer found the most incisive move. Yeah. Knight d5. And I'm going to tell you this. It says knight d5 and it's +4 for white. So basically winning. Because we're down material. We're down 2 pawns. So if white is +4, that's just crazy, right? So let's take a look at this. Now the game gets very interesting. Knight d5. So what makes this move so strong? Well, I really like this move. It does a few things. So it's a tempo on the queen. So black does not have time to castle. And that's probably the most important thing, is black doesn't have time to castle. We're also eyeing this fork. We also stopped bishop takes knight, so we're stopping trades. And this knight that was previously on b1 quickly got into the game. So lots of good things. So the thing is, though, it seems to me black has 2 responses. They could take the pawn. Actually, no, that loses to knight takes queen. But they could take the knight here. Well, if they do that, which was played in the game, I don't really see another good option. I mean, if they can move the queen, I guess. Where, though? I was going to say here, but actually the knight's guarding still. Just wondering if you can move the queen. Yeah, and there's no good places to move it. Maybe that's part of the strength of this move. Can't go here, it's guarded. Going here is insane. We would probably play this. Going here makes no sense. I could even play this move. Yeah, there's nowhere to really put the queen. Wow. Okay, so I think that's part of the strength of this move. So black does take. And here's sort of the point, and this is what I missed when I was analyzing. This is a common theme in a lot of these initiative type positions, is that even when you do trade, it keeps the initiative. Fischer takes with a pawn. So black still doesn't have time to castle unless they want to lose the knight. And now the knight has to move. Now the very desirable knight a5 is not available. The bishop is occupying that square still. Like in Evans' Gambit, a lot of times black will put the bishop on b6 just to have this knight a5 resource, trading off the light square bishop. But here we don't have that, and now the knight has to move again. And I don't see good options. If we go here, it looks really risky. So, I mean, I would immediately think, like, can I pin, you know, can I do something with this move? Unfortunately, that doesn't work. So knight a5 takes. We can't play this because the bishop still guards, and we haven't had time to reload, and that would be undefended anyway. So that doesn't work. But this did happen in the game. Except Fischer wasn't planning on rook e1. He was planning on this move. Bishop to b2. And, well, that's another gain of time. And it's eyeing this pawn. So if you're black, you really don't want to allow bishop takes g7. That would be another gain of time on the rook. And after the rook moves, this king's never getting out of the center ever. So queen g5, defending that. Okay, So I want to make a comment about this string of events because this is so awesome that knight d5 basically got us here. So in this position where black played knight f6, this is in fact a blunder because after knight d5, black never gets time to castle. Let's look. He trades off. Now the threat is pawn takes knight, so we can't castle. Knight here. We take it. So you just lost a piece, so you cannot castle. So after takes, bishop here. Now your queen's attacked. You cannot castle. Queen g4. So now we have this position where the king's still in the center because Fischer very precisely found moves so that black could never castle. And I think that's like in Evans' Gambit, but a lot of openings or games where you're trying to keep the initiative, that's how you should play it. So I think that's a really great lesson from Fischer. And now we have a choice, right? I mean, I think a lot of moves win here, but there's one move that is, well, pretty and also best for that matter. So if you want to pause your video and try to play like Bobby Fischer, go ahead and do so now. Okay, so I'll tell you what move I chose when I was analyzing, because I analyzed without an engine, very important if you want to get better. I chose this move. Unfortunately for me, d6, it's not a horrible move, but it is a mistake because now black castles. And okay, we still have a huge initiative here and we're probably better. I'll check with the engine. Yeah, it says plus 2.5. So, okay, I correctly saw that this move is fine, but there's something better. And that's the move h4. Very pretty move. h4, so we're sacrificing a pawn. But the reason that Fischer played this move is because the queen is doing an important job, right? She's defending this bishop takes g7 threat. But there's more threats in the position. Okay, so I want to talk about that first. Well, there's queen e3 check. Always look at your checks. There's rook check. And yes, I know that the bishop can take it, but it's a reloader threat. So after rook check, bishop takes, there's other rook check. So very important. We also have this d6 resource, which I tried to play early. And we also have bishop takes g7, which has to be defended. There's just so many threats in this game. There's also like, don't forget this bishop is undefended. So then moves like queen a3 and queen here and queen here. These are all ideas too. So, wow. So this is the kind of thing that you want in Evans' Gambit because there's just so many ideas to play for here. Okay, yeah, and the point of d6 is this, by the way, check. All right, well, now that the part of me that likes arrows on the board is sufficiently satisfied, let's look at this. h4, what are the options for black? Okay, we're going to dig into this a little bit. I want to defend queen e3 check. I want to defend bishop g7. How do I do that? I don't think there's any moves that defend both. But let's say we want to keep defending bishop g7. After something like this, we could play this. Queen e3 check. And I was thinking if here, let's say king d8, I think we can play this way. This threatens mate. So here, now mate's threatened again. And how does black defend it? If we bring the rook over, we don't have enough. That's checkmate. If we go to any, if we try to defend on this square, it's defended by the bishop. And if we try to go this square, our nice H pawn covered it. So this is actually lost. There's no way to defend checkmate. I think the best move is, yeah, queen here. Yeah, this is going to be a disaster. All right. Yeah, so, okay. So suffice to say, queen g6 isn't working. We could try queen g4. This also guards the bishop g7 threat. But here, let's see. I think this will also work. Check. Let's go here. I think same kind of thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take this first. Queen e3. Yeah, again, how do you defend this? This time it's even worse. Oh. Okay, black takes here now. That covers e7, but now we have this move. Okay, if the engine wants to sacrifice the rook for nothing, you know this is bad. So rook here, and queen e5 is a little bit crafty. I'm going to turn the engine off. After queen e5, we're threatening check. That would fork. So it also defends the bishop. You cannot take it. And if you move the queen away to get out of the fork, then we play checkmate. Isn't this mate? Yep, it is. So let's go back to our position. So after h4, we tried keeping defense of this, and we can't. So we tried this move, we tried this move. Now let's try, oh, we have one more to try, queen h6. Let's try this one. That also guards it. But here, I think queen a3. Attack the bishop, and now we have watch over the e7 square. So if black moves their bishop away, we go check. Now it's also not guarding this, and this is going to be over really fast. Checkmate. So black would have to lose their bishop there. Okay, so we've tried all these moves. What about, there's a really pretty variation. So I'll tell you, okay, so Dr. Fine took this pawn. Probably the best move, but there's also a really pretty variation. Which one is it? It comes after, oh, it comes after queen g4. Okay, so let's look at this one. I think he said, rook fe1 check. Okay, and Fischer put this in his analysis. Not bishop takes here. After king d8, we have queen e3, threatening mate. And he thought the bishop could now, because it wasn't traded off, the bishop has the idea of guarding this square. And now we have an amazing move. Queen h6. I mean, Fischer did all this without computers, all this kind of stuff, which is just amazing. Okay, so why is he giving away his queen? Because if you take, this pawn was doing a very important job. That's checkmate, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, it's not checkmate yet. The bishop guards. Okay, but now we can take it here. Now there's a discovery, check. Can't go here, it's guarded by the bishop. Gotta go here. Now check. Let's go here. And Well, if he goes there, we have checkmate, so he can't really do that. So Fischer gave this move. And this is a real move, by the way, because don't forget, we gave up our queen, but now this. Deflection, or decoy, I guess. Yeah, decoy, and now we take. And this is winning for white. So, okay. So very pretty stuff. And we'll finish up the game now, because we analyzed all these moves. None of this worked. So fine took the pawn. Okay, so we're going to take on g7, of course. h4 sufficiently deflected the queen. And now rook g7. Now we can do our reloader. Check. And yeah, so he actually wanted to keep his bishop, probably hoping to play this defensive resource at some point. Jan Fischer played this move. Very cute, right? Queen g3. Okay. So again, if one of my students played this move, I'd be like, oh, why do you want to trade your queen when you have an attack? That's just wrong. But this is really cute. If you take the queen, checkmate. So you can't take it. And actually it was here that Dr. Fine resigned because, well, the queen has to maintain defense of this move. This is going to be checkmate. Also, when the bishop moves away with check, we can take the rook for free. That's also checkmate. So yeah, queen g3 is just extremely strong. I'm not sure what you do. What do you do? Computer wants this move. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be... You take it. Doesn't even want to take here. So funny. Yeah, because you still... I mean, you could play this way even. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, queen g3 just is complete demolition. Even though it looks like a queen trade, it's very, very strong. So, okay. We're going to do a very quick recap. If you've made it this far with me, congratulations. I know I like to analyze. Well, I'm an improving player, so I want to learn. I want you guys to learn. I want to be thorough. And let's review the most important ideas in the game. Okay, so this was Evan's Gambit, and Fischer prioritized development. Fine played in the way where he's just grabbing all the material. Very, very risky, and Fischer showed why. Yeah, I actually love this move, knight takes, because it just shows like how much he's prioritizing development. This move turned out to be important because that knight d5 move refuted the knight f6 move by black. So here it is. And this is not a move. This is the key move, in my opinion, of the game. Because, you know, you're in danger of black castling here. If black castles, you lose a lot of your potency in the game. But this move is a tempo, and taking it doesn't really work. Because now we got that string of tempo moves. We're attacking the knight. Knight comes here, we take it. Queen comes here, we attack it. Queen goes here, we deflect it. Queen goes here, we take on g7, attacking the rook. I mean, it's just like black never gets a chance to breathe at all. Just amazing. Check, still no time to breathe. And then queen g3 just wins. So wow, what a game by Fischer. He called it shock treatment. Yeah, it's quite shocking. And Dr. Fine, unfortunately for him, he did not live up to his name. He was not fine this game after pawn takes c3. So I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I'll be back with at least one more game by Bobby Fischer. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next video.